when people think about retirement, we often dream about relocating. Maybe that's to a nearby town that we've always liked, or maybe even to a different state, from a place that maybe is cold in the winter to some place that's warmer in the winter. And the more adventurous of us, we think, you know what, I might actually relocate to a different country. But you're going to be surprised. Very, very few of us do this. And in today's video, I want to share with you what those stats are and my views on why that is and what you can do to prepare if you think you might like to buck that trend and actually relocate when you retire. Okay, let's start off by just showing what percent of the population actually moves every year, because it makes sense, but you're going to be surprised to see how drastic the changes are. Okay, this shows the share of the population that moves in a year by age group. And you can see 20 to 29-year-olds, they're just getting their life started. Maybe they've finished college or trade school, they're moving out of mom and dad's house. So a little over 25%. And then 30 to 39, that's when we start, if you're going to have kids, a lot of us start getting responsibilities, a mortgage. So that drops about 8 percentage points down to 17.4%. Then 40 to 49, it goes down to 11%. 50 to 59, it's 8.3. And then 60 to 69, this is the key retirement age group, is just 6.6% of people. You can see it continues to drop 70 to 79. The vast majority of these people are retired. It's less than 6% of people actually move in a year, 5.7. And that goes up a little bit at 80 plus. And I suspect a lot of that is people moving in with their adult kids, or maybe they need healthcare support, something like that. But you can see the trend is very much dropping as we get older. And that's why I say it's very, very unlikely that we're going to relocate. But let's say you do want to relocate, and we're going to get to the stats. But first, I want to show you this map that shows the tax burden based on different states. So if you're looking at moving, these red states are the ones that are the least tax friendly for retirees. The blue states are the ones that are most tax friendly. And then a separate chart here. This shows how much home equity you're likely to be able to pull out of your home if you were to relocate to a different state. So this is a report by Vanguard. It's a chart by Vanguard. And the darker the blue, the better off you are. So if you move from a dark blue state, let's say like California, to one of the whiter states, like Wyoming or Ohio, something like that, you're likely going to do very, very well on that change. But if you're moving from Ohio to Florida, you're probably going to lose ground. You're going to have to put more money in to your home, into your new situation. Or maybe, if you're moving from Texas to California in retirement, that's going to set you back as well. And unfortunately, half of our net worth, so 80% of us own a home by the time we're 65 years old, and about half of our net worth is tied into the home. And just as a reminder, this is what our household net worth is by age, and half of this amount is in our home equity. So our net worth is just the value of all of our assets minus the value of any debt that we might owe. So for most of us, it's our retirement savings, it's our regular taxable account, and then the home equity in our home. So you can see here, let's just jump to when people are 55 to 64. That's $364,500. Then 65 to 74, that goes up to a little less than 410,000. Then it starts dropping 75 and above. It's a little more than 1/3 of $1 million. So to have half of our money tied up in our home, I think that's one of the reasons that fewer people relocate than what we think. And so let's get into what this migration is. What percent of us are actually going to move? So again, this is a chart by Vanguard. And this was from 2019, people 60 and older. Of the people that decide to move, so I showed you what a small percentage of that is that we're actually going to move. It's about 6 or 7%. But the vast majority of us are going to stay in our state. We're either going to stay within our county or we're going to change counties, moving to that other town that I mentioned earlier. About 20% of the people that do move to a different state. And then it's only 4% of the people that move actually move overseas. So what can we do to make sure if this is on your radar screen and you're thinking, you know what, I think I might want to retire and relocate somewhere. I think job number one is to have a really, really good plan, a financial plan. And mea culpa, I'm a financial advisor. This is what financial advisors do. But, working with a financial advisor isn't for everybody. But what you get by working with a financial advisor or doing a very robust analysis yourself, you want to have as much confidence as possible, particularly if you're going to sell your house. You're going to, sell everything that you own and move overseas. You really want to be confident that you're not going to have to come back at 75 years old and start working again, or have to work overseas. It's very, very hard to get approval to work if you're not a citizen of a country. So if you want to retire overseas, I think one of the first things is just have a plan that you know for sure. You know what, without a shadow of a doubt, this plan is going to work. When I've been fortunate, I've been able to travel. And occasionally I run into an expat that's 60, 65 years old and says, you know what, I made a mistake and I have to go back to the US and I have to work because I can't work in Mexico. I can't work in Costa Rica. I can't work in Singapore because frankly, they just won't allow us. You can't work in Europe. And that's a bad situation. So that's job number one. Job number two, frankly, is taking care of our health. It's a lot easier to do these adventurous things if we're healthy. And unfortunately, our health is not going to last as long as what we think it's going to last. It's just normal if you're watching this video, if you're in good health now, it's easy to say, I'm going to be one of those fortunate ones. I'm going to be one of those people that are healthy until I'm 80, 85, 90 years old. But you know what? Unfortunately, the vast majority are not going to be that person. In fact, this chart by the World Health Organization shows us that the average American, we lose our health. Our healthy lifespan is just 66.1 years old. That's just 13 months past when most of us retire. And I don't know about you, but I'm hoping to get a lot more healthy time in my life than 66.1 years old and 13 months past 65. I know we all say that. I know we all think that. And some of it's in our control, and unfortunately, some of it's not in our control. So invest in your health, and then also give serious consideration to what is the right time for you to retire. Should you wait to 65? Should you retire before 65? And if you haven't watched it yet, that's why I made this video up here. Why waiting to 65 to retire might be a big mistake. I'll see you in that video. Bye-bye.